Hey, everybody, welcome to another episode of Behind the Cape. I'm data superhero Keith Belanger, and I am extremely excited today for the what we have in store for you guys. At Snowflake Summit this past year, many of you may have heard or you haven't heard yet about Snowflake Intelligence, which is a huge um, new capability that's coming to Snowflake. And I have my co-superheroes here joining me today to help us walk through what is Snowflake Intelligence. What does it mean to you? And with that, I'm not going to introduce everybody on my own. I'm going to give them the benefit of introducing themselves. So, let's start with you, Cesar. You know, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Thank you, everybody. So it's a pleasure to be here with all of you. This is my first video with all of you. It's an awesome moment. So I am Cesar Segura. So I am working with Snowflake. So 5 years ago, so it's was fantastic when I discovered it. Day by day, I've been discovering new things. So I'm working currently with Snowflake, and I'm a Snowflake principal architect in my current company. I am a subject matter expert on data technologies in ECTG Group. So I'm trying advising the different teams, leading the different projects, and so it's a current job that I really enjoy with every day. So I see Snowflake, and I try to help the community with my articles, with leading the Snowflake forum discourse that you can jam and collaborate with all the rest of the mates. And I helping the rest of the community on LinkedIn with posts and tips, etc. So thank you for that incredible occasion. So I let you to introduce the rest of my mates. Thank
Well,
you, Kate.
we're happy to have you. Thanks you. Next, Soman, if you want to introduce yourself for everybody.
Absolutely, Keith. Thank you so much. So this is Somen, and again, so this is my third stint as Snowflake Data Superhero, and glad and excited to be talking about one of the finest feature of the Snowflake, which is Snowflake Intelligence. And currently, I'm working within Accenture as part of Snowflake COE also. And yes, this technology, I love it to the core. I love spreading the knowledge and awareness about this technology through my YouTube channel, through Medium, and obviously through LinkedIn posts. Super happy and excited to be part of this team. Yeah. What do you,
Welcome.
Keith?
Happy to have you. Excited. Anna, your turn. Let's tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Keith. Hi, everyone. I am so excited and jazzed to be here with everyone today. Look at us, all the data superheroes and the jackets on. I really love what I've seen. Apart from sometimes my arm disappears from the virtual background. I hope it will render and it will be really funny to watch this video afterwards. So, I'm Anna. I am a data superhero from 2025. I'm a senior data analyst at a travel company, TUI, based in Germany, in Berlin. So, everybody from Berlin, say hi in the comments. I'm also a founder of two user groups, Snowflake, a woman on Snowflake, and LGBTQA plus user group. So, join our user groups. And as a data superhero and a senior data analyst, I occupy myself with solving data questions every day and 9 to 5. So I'm particularly excited to talk about Snowflake Intelligence today because, as it looks, it might help me reduce my day to day workload. Back to you, Keith.
Excellent. Well, again, thanks everybody for joining us. So we definitely have a treat for everybody today. This is not going to be like our typical show. This is going to be a really long and very informative. Every superhero here is going to give you a bit of a deeper perspective on different aspects of Snowflake Intelligence. And with that, we're going to start with you, Anna. What do you have for us? What are you going to share with us and our followers today?
Cool, I'm ready to start. And while I'm sharing my screen, I also want to make sure that I give you the big picture. So we start with why Snowflake Intelligence and what are we going to be talking about today. I hope that it appears on the screen now and I start the slideshow. Well, you've already seen me and that's me aboard of the research vessel in the middle of Indian Ocean, but I won't repeat myself. So Snowflake Intelligence, a big topic for why is why do we want something like Snowflake Intelligence to be a part of our data landscape in the organization? Snowflake Intelligence is an enterprise intelligence agent. A lot of words. Let me decompose. It allows you as a user, regardless whether you are familiar with the datascape or not, to ask a question to your data, backed up by the intelligence of the team, which has put everything they know about the data model beforehand, and bring you the answer in context of your organization, both structural and unstructural data. So as you can see, you don't have to be an analyst, you don't have to write SQL, you don't even have to know what SQL is. You don't have to know data modeling. That all is done by the knowledge experts in your team in the back of the process. And what you get is this nice, light, simple interface where you can talk to your data and ask the questions and get the answers. It's not just asking and answering, it's also actioning. In addition to talking to data, you can also perform various actions, and I'll talk about it in a moment. I actually prepared a demo for you. Before I do the demo, I really want to emphasize that behind the Snowflake Intelligence, which is this light and simple platform, is a power of the Cortex agent, something that Snowflake has developed and something that really boosts, and I hope we'll cover it a lot today, something that really boosts the productivity of Snowflake Intelligence. So, what is Cortex agent? Cortex agent is an LLM orchestrator, which possesses access to multiple tools in Snowflake. And those tools could be based on structured and unstructured data. So, for the structured data, we have, for example, text to SQL. That's the Cortex analyst for you out there. And I won't spill the beans too much about how it works behind the scene, because I know that my fellow data superheroes would love to tell more about it. I just want to emphasize that with the Cortex Analyst as a tool of Cortex Agent, you're capable of querying your data without ever having to think about the SQL logic. And it's on top of that reliable because it uses the knowledge base of your fellow analysts who encoded it into semantic view or semantic model. Well, that a bit later. The second part, which I want to emphasize, is working with the unstructured data because, well, it takes a village sometimes to bring your data in order, and the default entropy of the universe is probably something that leans towards unstructured data. That's the Cortex search and the semantic search come into play. This is, in fact, a capability which allows you to go over your unstructured data and prepare it for understanding by the semantic layer. So you can vectorize it, you can search by it, you can also perform a keyword search. It's a hybrid search over your unstructured data. So think RAG. As I promised, it is not just the Cortex family of functions which is operating behind the hood of the Snowflake Intelligence. It's a powerful team, but you can always think of capability which is unique to your organization. And that's where you can bring your custom tools. So UDFs, stored procedures are possible to bring in into Cortex Agent and Snowflake Intelligence, and let's say send that Slack notification or an email. Well, you're hearing me, and probably everybody here is getting a bit of a feel what Cortex Agent can do. It's like an operational team, like on the illustration. And what is so powerful, what I particularly personally love about Cortex Agent, is that it takes it a step further. It basically creates the plan of action, and it possesses that feature of reflection upon the actions that it has taken. It is also threatening, so it basically takes up the history of my conversation with me and it allows me to continue the conversation in context of what I have already asked before. And those are features that on average I have not seen existing. So I'm really happy to see how the Cortex agent operates powered by Snowflake Intelligence interface. I guess I spoke enough, and these are all slides. So let's come to what we're all here for, our first demo of this video. For that, I'm going back to my Snowflake Intelligence interface, and I hope you can see it with me. It greets me, it's an afternoon here now in Berlin, so it asks me what insights I can help with. As you can see here, I already have something prepared for you. So I have built a movie recommender, a simple service which takes an IMDb data from Snowflake Marketplace and scans it with Cortex Search and also builds a simple model with Cortex Analyst. So I can use IMDb data to, guess what, recommend a movie. And what a better thing to do is to, I have prepared a prompt to recommend a movie which can motivate me to study something technical and new, perhaps with a bit of AI flavor. Well, I promise you, there is not a description on IMDb existing which can contain these words, and I have checked. So let's see how Cortex Agent and Snowflake Intelligence work together to make it happen. What happens first? My request gets analyzed, and the Cortex search tool is selected to find the movies which match the criteria. And remember, I told you it's a semantic search, so it's going to be looking for something similar, not necessarily identical, so not a keyword match, it's a fuzzy logic. And films that involve learning, technical subjects, and possibly AI. I haven't even put the word learning into my question. I used study, but you see, as the Cortex agent is expanding my request and grooming it to find better matches. Now it's going to trim, as a next step, it trims the movie and it tries to find the results which are inspiring. Based on the search result, it found some movies which are interesting and which can be recommended. So let's see what it actually brings to me. I am recommended to watch Strong Artificial Intelligence as it aligns with my interest of technical learning and AI. Interesting. Well, guess what? I also think that I would like to save this as a bookmark, and this is an opportunity I have just to link back to the movie. So, this is what I have for you today. This is my small demo. I'll stop sharing my screen now, and I'm really hopeful that we will have a fantastic discussion moving on.
That was fantastic. I've been in the industry for a long time, 30 years, and I can say that many times I had some great people in an organization that knew their business. They knew the business inside and out. They know what questions they wanted, but had no clue how to write SQL, no clue how to interact with a database. And I can see all these people, would be like, was this years ago? This is science fiction. It's very interesting, almost, unrealistic, right? But that was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Thank you, Keith. By the way, I don't see you on the screen at the moment. I'm not sure if that's just my issue. Oh, there you go. Now I see you again.
I was talking and I wasn't controlling, so I was but
No, no
that
problem. No, we
you
are
know
all still here. We are not AI.
exactly, we're here. No, that was fantastic. So so we just heard kind of a high level about why intelligence and an overview of the Cortex agent. And now we're going to jump over to Somen, who's going to really kind of get into the how, right, and the UI building blocks of what we kind of. So we started high level. We're going to dive a little bit deeper, and the floor is all yours, Somen.
Thank you so much, and it was wonderfully explained another way, in which the intelligence context has been set up. Right. So let me quickly share my screen then. All right. Okay. All right. So Keith, I hope you can see my screen, right?
I definitely can.
Okay, all right. I'll quickly skim through this slide, right? So again, we all should be excited about Snowflake Intelligence because it actually caters to the agentic ecosystem, of the entire data and AI landscape, right? The Snowflake Intelligence, if we see this, see this slide, right? Wherein if you see this, it is actually it can actually be broken down into 7 to 8 steps, right? Wherein it not only can think about a prompt which we give, using obviously our natural language, but it can even orchestrate, right? And there is a lot of tools which can easily be plugged in into the intelligence ecosystem. And then not only that, right, I mean, once we get the results can further be fine tuned, processed, and it is refined. And imagine that even before the response we get as an end user, we have a ability to even tweak that response based on how we think that response will be very very essential to us, purely with respect to kind of what the business needs, right? So the point which I wanted to make over here is Snowflake Intelligence is catering to agentic AI workloads. So it is, kind of ensuring that whatever limitations that, essentially, we had building all the monolithic applications using, the custom LLM models, with respect to those not having the potential of, kind of doing the orchestration and having the ability to plug in a lot of tools into their ecosystem. Now all of those problems will be solved natively within Snowflake Intelligence, because all these things can now be integrated all under the one governed platform which we all know, which is Snowflake, right? So what I want to do right now is I will quickly go into little bit of setup side. And we also have to understand, right, I mean, setting up Snowflake Intelligence is so very easy. It is purely configurational based, and it can be spun up within minutes. And that is how even a lot of operational costs can be managed. We don't need the entire engineering effort with respect to kind of creating the agentic AI solutions, right? So let me quickly kind of walk you guys through the console that we have within Snowflake, right? Now if we
I
see
would,
this, folks. Yeah.
Soman, I'm just going to stop you for a sec. If you could see at the bottom where it says like stop sharing and it says hide next to it,
Okay, all
just
right.
do that. Perfect. Then we can, this way we can make sure we see. Excellent. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Proceed.
When intelligence, yeah, everything has to be hidden when we are demonstrating intelligence, isn't it, Keith? Right, great. All right, so it has to be, agentic specific demo. All right. So what I wanted to share over here is, so if you see this we all know it's our console, Snowside console, right? Under AI ML, there will be two, kind of options. One is agents, another one is Snowflake Intelligence. So this particular agents is actually a feature through which we can go and start creating agents. And as I said, it is purely configurational basis, right? Now here I have created one particular agent, right? And this agent, what it does is it has an ability to talk with multiple tools. Okay, and what are those tools on Snowflake language? Number one is Cortex Analyst, which pretty much Anna has explained, right, with respect to how you know we can kind of get the, or probably solve the AI to BI problems using the semantic views, using the console to define the entire kind of conceptual architecture all within this tools as an ecosystem system. Imagine, think of it like you have a structured data set, and on top of it you want to query something. Okay, so you have two methods. Either you have to know SQL, wherein you can query, and it has to be very very SQL heavy, or you just ask very very kind of plain natural language questions on top of your structured data set. That is exactly what Cortex Analyst does for you. So it can be easily integrated, and it works like a tool. So if you see this, this is my first tool, which is integrated in data agents, right? And what is my second tool, folks, right? This is something which works on unstructured data. It is purely rag based, okay, which is called as Cortex search. Now imagine I have lot of text, okay, which has to be mined, okay. So and again, on top of those text, what I need to get is I need to get, some kind of quality insights, okay. And those insights has to be, vectorized, and it will be purely rag based, okay. So what do I do? Very simple. I just have to ensure that I enable the Cortex search services on top of that column wherein I have a lot of textual content, and I am good, right, with respect to at least this Cortex search services getting activated on top of my table, right? And then one very most important thing is custom tool, right? So think of it like we added one tool which will solve my, kind of purpose of structured data, which is text to SQL Cortex Analyst, and another tool that we are adding, which is solving the purpose of unstructured data, which purely works on unstructured data, but and it is purely rag based, powered by Cortex Search. And we are not stopping over there, folks. There is something which we are also doing additional all within Snowflake, which is custom tools, okay. Within custom tools, what we can do is we can integrate a lot of tools, and those tools can be, imagine we creating a simple stored procedure, and that stored procedure can read the data from, maybe your bronze layer objects and kind of load it into your silver layer objects, right? That can easily be integrated into custom tools, okay. And within agentic AI, it is always told that you should have a mechanism to take actions, right? Imagine, right, I mean, you are doing, a lot of analytics in your, business ecosystem, okay. Now in your analytics, you want to also, send some mails which will have some kind of dashboards, okay. So can you do that all by asking natural language questions, right? That will be empowered by the send mail option that will be integrated as a tool within the ecosystem, right? So the expansive nature of the tools that can be integrated within Snowflake Intelligence is huge, okay. And that is exactly how the art of possibilities increases within Snowflake, right? And then another thing is we also, have to understand, people always tell that if you guys are doing a lot of things, how do you govern it? How do you ensure that, you apply certain guardrails that people even do not misuse it, okay. That is exactly where, there is something called as time limit and token limit, okay. Now once we give this time limit and token limit, that is exactly how you control how this intelligence will be used, okay. Now once all these setup are done, you are good, okay. And that is exact, when I say you are good, your chatbots will be ready. You don't have to even worry about writing the Python program and creating an independent application, okay. Just by matter of single click, your chatbot will be ready, okay. You have not invested any time with respect to creating that particular bot, okay. So we talk about Streamlit, right? Streamlit has got a lot of beautiful capabilities, okay. But at times we even go and start coding, kind of in Python language, and kind of create a Streamlit app, okay. But Snowflake Intelligence is not that, okay. Once you create these agents, you just have to go over here and click on this particular icon, okay, and your intelligence page just comes up, okay. That is exactly where you will see all the entire configuration that you did, okay. Everything will be mentioned over here. Your bot is ready, okay. And as I was explaining you, so this will be my agent, okay. And when I say source, okay, these are all your tools. We have spoken about how unstructured data will be integrated. We have spoken about how structured data will be integrated, and even how we can take actions, okay. So single agent is now empowered with lot of tools, and we have created a bot. Okay, we have created a chat application for our end user who do not need to know those very kind of high skill programming languages. For them, it is very simple. Come and ask very business specific questions, and you are bound to get an answer. And how my intelligence will work from the backend is, it will automatically select the tool. Okay, be it Cortex Search, which is this, be it Cortex Analyst, which is this, be it Send Mail, which is this, and I have also added one more tool via CKE using Cortex Search, which is Snowflake documentation. Okay, I'll also touch base upon that. So before that, I just want to kind of fire this prompt so that again, we see right how it is kind of identifying, that agent is intelligently identifying which tools it should pick, and accordingly it is going to give us insight by querying the data set which is completely lying within the governed ecosystem of Snowflake, right? So I have asked a very simple question: how many deals did Sarah Johnson win compared to deals that she lost, right? So it identified the tool, it is doing a lot of planning, it is doing a lot of thinking, and accordingly it gave me an answer purely in natural language. Okay, that's the power of kind of Snowflake intelligence. And one more, and one more also insight which I wanted to share is the power of CKEs, Cortex Knowledge Extension. What does that mean, right? In today's world, right? I mean, we often go into our open source models, right? We ask a lot of questions. Somebody who is very brand new to Snowflake, right? He will probably try to do Google that, what is a Snowflake virtual warehouse? What is a Snowflake task? What is that? So how do I create my tables within Snowflake? And he is expected to get a lot of answers, and those answers might come from obviously Snowflake documentation, but they can also get answers from other sources which might or might not be reliable. Okay, that is exactly where the integration of CK, Cortex Knowledge Extension, can work like magic over here. If you see this, if I ask a very simple question, right? Can you tell me something about, I am very brand new to Snowflake, right? What is a Snowflake virtual warehouse, right? I mean, can you explain, the details about Snowflake virtual warehouse to me, right? So this is exactly what it does. It will give us all the information about Snowflake virtual warehouse. But look at this, kind of metadata information, right? All the sources from which it extracted the information about the warehouse, it is purely from Snowflake documentation. It is that trustworthy, right? You actually do not have to go into any of kind of think of it like ChatGPT even, right? Which at times might give you kind of insights where it might kind of look up to other documentation, but it just looked up to your Snowflake documentation and it gave you the output, right? So this is again a very kind of powerful capability of Snowflake intelligence. And again, as I was telling you, it is so powerful that, let's say you want to orchestrate something. Okay, now, and I was telling you, you want to kind of customize your response to all the kind of my friends which is present in India. So let's say I will say that, please do the response in maybe I'll say that in language Hindi. Hindi is the most widely spoken language, in India, and I save it. Okay, over here, and then what I do is I try to I'll refresh this, intelligence as an application. Okay, and then everything was coming in English, right? So can I see something in Hindi too, right? So what I do is I'll ask the same question and see, right, whether it is actually kind of even giving me answers wherein I will try to even see if something is actually coming in, the response that I get towards the end of your analyzing, thinking, and the planning steps, whether I have something which is, given, which is given to me in the language Hindi that I have just now, kind of written and even saved it, right? So it is still doing its planning steps. It is creating, you see, the chats, and now you see the response, right? You see the language is Hindi. So that's the power of Snowflake intelligence, right? With respect to how we are using it and how it can solve a lot of different, aspects of the agentic AI ecosystem. With that, Keith, I think I'll pass the baton to you, and then we can continue our discussion further. Yeah.
No, that was fantastic. In your demonstration, you were talking about, bronze to silver. In my playing around with Snowflake Intelligence, you know, we do a lot of talking right now about the end consumer, right? Our business partners asking questions about their data, and getting business. But a lot of my experience has been as a data engineer, a data architect, having to take source data, like hundreds of source data. And I can remember spending a month querying data to try to understand what are the distinct values, and some of the playing I've been doing with Snowflake Intelligence was it working as helpful for me, like what are the distinct values, because if I want to go to the silver layer and I want to curate that data, I can use Snowflake Intelligence to give me the information on what I need to do to curate that data, right? So to me, the power isn't just what you're giving to your business consumers, it's the power that you're giving to your engineers and to your folks to sit there and say, I have two different data sources that are the same topic, same subject matter, but one says true false, the other one says 0 1. The other, it's I can use this natural language to accelerate my ability to curate that data as well. So just to kind of show that there's lots of use cases for Snowflake Intelligence.
Absolutely. Very well summarized, Keith. Yeah.
All right, that was fantastic. And last but not least, we're going to hand it over to Cesar, who's really going to take it even a little bit lower in the grain and really get into the governance and the semantic aspects of it. So, the floor is yours. Let's see what you have for us.
Thank you very much, Keith. It was a fantastic demo by Anastasia and Somen, but I will try to extend that functionalities. So we are going to leverage Snowflake Intelligence with other capabilities in a real use case. Let me present my screen. Okay. Here. So that's I will try to extend a functionality that I have, or just write an article about how to make a real use case about how to use Snowflake Intelligence in order to make different governance capabilities and provide that the capabilities to a corporation. Okay, so I don't want to extend that functionality about how what this Cortex Search, Analyst, custom tools out that. This is really covered by Anastasia and Somen, but I will try to start with to present a diagram about how to make a real use case in order to make different functionalities about how to firstly discover what data that we currently have on our corporation. After that, we are going to document that database objects in base of the previous data that we have discovered. After that, we are going to generate AI semantic layers about the semantic views or semantic models. It doesn't mind, we can cover that. It will be built automatically by Snowflake Intelligence in order to provide that capability about provide semantic layers on data products for the different customers in order to provide value from your information that currently do you have in your information in your corporation. Okay, and finally we were going to deploy that semantic layer in order to use that semantic layers in order to test, etc. How to set up that? So it's very easy. So firstly, we are going to use Snowflake Intelligence. We have previously checked how to do that. So we're going to provide several instructions. We are going to see that in a few minutes. After that, we are going to provide permissions for our data agents. Okay, but after that, we are going to provide a main description about in our data agent. What are the main functionalities about that agent? And after that, we are going to provide and set up different tools in order to do all the different phases that we are going to cover. Okay, so firstly, we are going to set up a Cortex analyst semantic in order to discover that data that we are going to check in our corporation. So that is a semantic model view that is showing the different components that we are having in our corporation. After that, we are going to set up different tools about how iJob tool. This is a tool that I am covering on other article that is a procedure in order to generate AI descriptions in base of providing what do you want to document. Okay, so this is using a metadata description table. You can iterate about that. Okay, about the different stakeholders in order to be comfortable with the descriptions, and finally to provide and apply that descriptions. Okay, so we are going to specify our procedure that is at the AI doc tool, and in order to generate that if we want to make some changes, some specific changes, we are going to specify other tool. It will be other procedures in order to modify some descriptions about the database, schema, columns, tables, views, whatever that we need to work on. And finally, we will have on that phase the Cortex analyst in order to check that metadata descriptions and reiterate and check all that information are going good with our business, with our needs in that case. On the next stage, it will be the AI semantic layer, the generation that it will be using the Cortex search service, the Cortex knowledge extension that it has been mentioned by Somen, that it will when the data agent it really doesn't know how to build a semantic layer. How to cover that functionality. We are going to specify a RAG database in order to provide to that agent that acknowledgement about how to build a semantic layer. It will be always updated with the latest Snowflake documentation, new features, etc. So in that case, the data agent it will really know how to build a semantic layer with that acknowledgement and all the description that we have covered in the previous stage. We are going to be ready to generate that semantic model. Okay, so we are going to be ready to generate a semantic model or a semantic view. So it will be a tool in order to validate all that iteration, because imagine that you are going to check and generate about your semantic view about sales information, and you want to iterate and add some new metrics, new tables, whatever that you want, and imagine for your use case in order to provide that data product for your customer. So you can iterate that that needs with the data agents, adding, removing, whatever that you need. And finally, we are going to be ready for the next for the next and the last phase is the deploying of that semantic view or the semantic model. In that way, we currently in Cortex analysis we have that there are two different ways in order to provide a semantic layer. We have semantic views, a semantic model. It will depend the mode of what we are going to need in that case. How is working that in or that agent? We are going to jump on the setup. So this is it has really been covered by Somen, that the configuration. This is the main description about what are the main functionalities about or data agent. You can input some example questions that we have seen before. Here we are going to specify the different tools about the Cortex analysis, Cortex search, about that Snowflake documentation, about the how discover or current information, and the AI description that has been generated. Here you have the different tools that we are going to specify. That are the different tools that we are going to use. So once we have done that, okay, it's more important that you can explain to the functionality of that tool to the data agent in order to make a correct use for that. So, okay, in that case, I explain how to use that tool to the data agent, okay, with some examples, or how to use the IDoc modify tool in that way, or etc. etc. But the most important part for in order to build a good customized application, a RAG application in Snowflake Intelligence, is that part, in my opinion. So it's very important that you can say to the data agent how to orchestrate and use the different tools that that data agent has access. Okay, the orchestration it has been covered in order to specify here in the data agent how to use the different tools. Okay, on my case, I have specified use IDoc tool to generate and generate documentation, Cortex analyst to check the semantic model in order to generate a descriptions, and generate and check the information that currently we have in our corporation, modify tool for that purpose, etc., etc. And finally, use Cortex search in order to know what are the different best practices, guidelines, examples, and the different below instructions in order to build an efficient and a good semantic layer in order to iterate with the latest features that we currently have in our corporation. This is a very important part because the user, when he has to build a semantic model, he doesn't really has to know how to build a semantic model. You don't only want to build a semantic model with the information that you want, and we add in a easily way the different metrics, the calculations, etc. And you can do that with Snowflake Intelligence through the text to with speeching and put in the text all that you want into to the data agent. Okay, so this is in my opinion the more important part. Okay, finally, you can use the access tab in order to provide the access to the different roles. And finally, we are going to jump to an example that I have executed previously because I don't have enough time in order to show that in a real time. But in example, I have asked to show me the different database and schemas that we have, and I have access to the in the code. This is has been shown to me in order to discover that information. So in that case, we are going to do the different steps, okay, the different phases. Okay, so once that has been shown to me, I have asked to the data agent that I would like to document that schema in that way. So he has me about some specific features in order to do that action. Okay, he has asked to me what LLM or model that I would like to use, or what action type that I would like to apply. In that case, remember that way, only generate the descriptions, or generate more and plus the apply AI descriptions to the database objects as well. Okay, so finally, so you can specify some specific features in order to make more performance, a more accurate information, not only for the times that it triggers to finish. Is in addition is for not. This is a very accurate method in order to document your database object. Okay, so in that case, I have specified the actions in only generate that information, and that and finally it has finished and ask me about the mm, what I want to do in that case. So in that case, once I've been generated all that information, I want to review the information that has been generated. So that is tell me that has been generated for tables as detected, and show me the different descriptions for all the tables. And on that step, I would like to reiterate about some specific information, because about the support tickets table, that they really have information about the customer name and customer email. So in that case, it show me the full description about that information. And what I want to do with that information is to change that information for one that custom description. So I want to change the customer name description. I specified my custom one. So in that case, if we check if we have done accordingly orchestration details about that we have seen previously, the data agent, it will really knows what tool has to use in what case. Okay, so it will use the modification tool in that case in order to modify that specific description for that column in that way. Okay, so finally we want to apply that AI documentation. So that tool, it will apply directly. So and this is a very important that we have to take into consideration, because when we use the different tools, we have to specify what rails in order to limit all the functionalities and how to act in depending of what case. Okay, this is very important. So this is an important step because I have specified some guardrails in order to double check with the user in order previous to confirm that action, because it will apply some directly to the database objects and irreversible actions, because it will modify all the description for all that database objects. Okay, so you double confirm that action, and finally it will be documented all that information, so it will be confirmed with and the last custom modification as well. So and the next step will be, I would like to generate a semantic layer using the IDOC information, so that you have just generated, but only focus on sales information. This is a very important part, because if we don't want some specific part, you can tell some specific details about your use case. Only I have documented a lot of information about marketing, sales, customer, product, etc. But I will only focus on the sales information. It will detect all the information that we have on all the documentations generated by the data agent, and it will select all database objects. But previously we will check that, and he asked me to about what the option about how to do semantic model or semantic view. It gives me that option. For me, is semantic view is it will be okay on that case. It will recommend some specific cases, and you can ask more about what are the benefits of or which one. And finally, based on the Cortex results and the documentation that we are generated, okay. So this because he has used the Cortex search about the Cortex knowledge extension with all the information about the Snowflake Intelligence prior to build that semantic view. Okay, if you are accommodated with that information, we can proceed to the create the semantic view. But I repeat again, so if you want to iterate, add some metrics or whatever that you need, you can add that information. That is the different the recommendation that the agent has been doing to me in that way. So finally, it will create the semantic view. It will check that information. You can change some parameters about the name of the semantic view if you are accommodated with this one, and is checking that information, and finally is confirming that the semantic view has been validated with the latest changes. Okay, and finally we are going to specify that we are going to deploy that semantic view. It will inform about the finally has been deployed on that location. Okay, so and there is a summary that we can see, and there are some recommendations about how to use that semantic view. But finally, we're going to check that semantic view that has been generated. So let me check and jump again with Cortex Analyst. Okay, so we are going to check that this is the semantic view that has been generated. I repeat, you have two options about semantic views, semantic model. It doesn't matter. So we are going to check. And finally, this is the semantic view that has been generated, is generated automatically, but you can iterate and add with your data agent. To add some metrics, you can do it manually with in that way, and you can check that the semantic model has been correctly generated by the way in a correct way. Why? Because we have specified the validate semantic model tool that has in charge to validate all the changes that we are going to do on our semantic layer in order to provide that useful data product with our stakeholders. We have employed uh, Snowflake Intelligence in order to do a RAG application, a real use case, because it's very useful in order to provide an easy way data products very fast and very easy. So that's all. So it's fantastic. So you can do it and apply that in every customer, and I think that it will be pleased to receive a customer rec application. Not only this and the all the possibilities is only focused in your imagination. So it is a very important part that you can do practically everything with Snowflake Intelligence, data agents, the Cortex analysis with a structured data, Cortex search with a rec vector and managing the search and non-structured data, and practically everything with all that tools, custom tools that you can cover all your use cases in that way. Back to you, Keith, again. Um, and I hope that you have enjoyed with that explanation. So it was very extensive, but we are going to it's very important to highlight that we can use Snowflake Intelligence to leverage practically every any use case that we can face in 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 a real use case. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, guys?
No, I think that was great. And one thing I just really want to highlight, we started at the beginning, and it has this like, wow, that's really, when Anna's presenting, like that's really, easy. But I think what we also have to show here and kind of what Caesar was showing here at the end in the last part is that an agent and Snowflake do not know your business, right? And it's important that that semantic layer be that translator from what does my physical data look like? I'll give an example. You know, the data might call it cust, but maybe your business calls it and talks in the word member. So that semantic layer is important to say, hey, when somebody says member, they're really this is the data to support it. So it's really important. I think it was a lot of detail there, but I think it's really critical to understand is that semantic layer is what's going to be critical so that when Anna says, how many members do we have, it doesn't come back and say, what's a member? Right. So that was fantastic. All of you were fantastic. I really appreciate it. But before we close off, I kind of go around, like I'll start with you, Anna. Do you have any final comments or anything you would want to add based on what, others has said or points you might want to make?
Wow. Well, I think we could set a record for sure on the length of the episode. I'm very excited about everything that I personally learned about Snowflake Intelligence today. Thank you to everyone. My final thoughts. Folks, we went from recommend me a movie into create some automation for semantic layer, all in Snowflake Intelligence. That's the power. Keith mentioned that the true deep knowledge is brought up by the semantic layer, but it's also in the tool description, orchestration instruction. It's that in that unstructured data that we bring in, such as Snowflake documentation, for example, or your data from your knowledge base. So it's really going deep into becoming that expert digital twin. I will not be afraid of that word. And it brings it home with the knowledge that you embed into it. One thing that speaks really close to my heart, the last thing I'm going to mention, is the initiative that Snowflake is spearheading, the open semantic interchange, because we described the semantic layer in quite some detail today. But something that is important to know is that we are bringing the industry forward by bringing something vendor agnostic here. We are building the semantic layer together in a shape and form, view, or model which the industry can then take. So if there is one thing I would recommend for our viewers to look up is an open semantic interchange. I'm particularly excited about it, and I hope that you join it as well.
Great, thank you. Soma, how about you? Any final thoughts or anything you would like to mention to people before we close out?
Absolutely. So I just wanted to kind of tell that agentic AI applications and building features within Snowflake are super easy, as they say, right? Snowflake makes complex easy. With that note, I'll maybe pass on the baton to you, Keith. And it is very simple to build within one governed platform of Snowflake.
Yeah. No, but thank you. And Caesar, I know we just finished with you, but I'll give you, same thing. Any final thoughts or anything you would like to end with here?
Yeah, so okay, so I repeat. I think that maybe I can repeat, but is Snowflake Intelligence provides insightful capabilities about using all the types of AI features that you can imagine. The real use cases are very well covered. Well, that as mentioned, we have covered on the different moments that we have shared with all of you, and and the final thought is it has been make it easy, fast, and trustability. So it's very important that because we can use all together that all the features. It doesn't matter the type of content, the corporation, and it will be covered easily and practically everyone can set up that and Snowflake has been doing that possible. That is very important. Okay.
Great. Well, again, thanks everybody for joining. And as you said, Anna, I think this is probably our most informative and longest show, but the time went by fast. It was everybody, information was great. For those who you are watching, in the comments below will be links to everybody, any material that our superheroes want to share so that we can give you all the information you want, how maybe you can connect with them on LinkedIn if you want to ask them questions or interact with them in any more detail. That being said, I thanks everybody for joining us, and we'll see you on our next episode of Behind the Cape. Bye, everybody.